who are using Chat GPT for their research and all?
We are using.
That's good. That's good. But there are some. Let's make this an interactive session where I will also learn from how the artificial intelligence is being used by you. I'm a lawyer and an insolvency professional. I am not a technical guy, but I use a lot of technology and artificial intelligence to help myself, help my work, and decrease the stress on myself. So let's, Anjali, I need to share my presentation.
Sir, you must have share screen option. Yeah. You can share from there.
Okay. Is the presentation visible to everyone?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay. It was a challenge for me to how to introduce you to artificial intelligence. So probably I'll start off with one of the videos that I very much like. I'll just put the video on, and then we can speak. It's a 1.5 minutes video. That's it.
Sir, we are not able to see the video.
Is it a problem with this particular gentleman, or nobody saw this video?
No. We are also not able to see the video.
Nobody is able to see, sir.
We are also not able to see.
Okay, so it was a video, of 1,500 small drones put into the air, like you must have seen on the Republic Day, on the beating retreat day, when around 2,000-3,000 drones were put in the air, and they made different sort of images in the sky. So do you think that sending up 1,500 drones with 1,500 people controlling those drones can create this sort of an imagery which was there? Probably let me just go to my the other part of it. Now is it visible now?
So we can see your presentation only.
Okay.
Yeah.
So media is not there, so probably some hitch somewhere. No issues. So the basic concept was that 1,500 drones in the air being managed by artificial intelligence, by some software, by some computer, where it has to land in next 5-6 seconds. This is what artificial intelligence is all about. That the human job, which cannot be done or synchronized by many people, can be done by some sort of a software. And that is where artificial intelligence comes in. It's a bigger, the concept is very bigger. We'll come to that. But this is just, I wanted to show you that how the intelligence works, right? Going on to the next slide. Just tell me whether you would be able to see this, the Chat GPT thing.
Yes.
Yes. Everybody can see this page?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So some of you must have used ChatGPT, and we are using ChatGPT 3.5. There is a difference between ChatGPT 3.5 and ChatGPT 4. Effectively, when we used to use Google at certain point in time in our life, everybody uses Google to take out some sort of an information from for any topic or any sort of a law on. Since we are talking about law in terms of turnaround and insolvency, so law and any other subject that you want to ask Google, you can always do that. But what does Google do? It only gives us nth number of options to us to go to and see what the options say. For example, if we say that we want to look at a CVA in England, how does it work, right? CVA means Company Voluntary Administration. I'm saying this because CVA is not known to us. Okay, so what do? We go to various websites, understand what CVA is. So what ChatGPT has done, it takes the data from all those websites, compiles it into a one document, and presents it to you in a very short amount of time. Let's see. Let's put this into the ChatGPT. The main aim of showing you this is that ChatGPT simply collates information from various websites and gives it to you in say 2 seconds. You have this information with you. Let's anybody has drafted a petition or application on ChatGPT? A good thing to do, but you need to take care on that. Say for example, you need to draft a employment agreement. So this is going to draft a employment agreement. So this is what the employment agreement would look like. So it just took them 1 second probably to provide you with this sort of an agreement. Something which we all want to understand for some law or other. Say, for example, tell me about 29A of IBC.
Rocky ji, the screen shows only Chat GPT.
Okay. You can open up your ChatGPT and just look at that. You will understand that how it works. It works very fast. It is collating information from different websites and providing it to you. So this was just to tell you that we are right now using artificial intelligence in terms of our insolvency or some sort of a legal agreements, or in terms of understanding a law, right? But there is a limitation to this whole thing in terms of that ChatGPT is effectively dwells upon information till September 2021. There is another ChatGPT 4 which has come up, which is a subscription-based model. It would give you a lot of information which the ChatGPT 3.5 will not give you. So these are the two things that I just wanted to show you, that what artificial intelligence can do for professionals like us. They can create documents, they can do a lot of other things which a normal, for me, for example, if I have to draft an agreement, there would be a first draft, then there would be X number of readings on that draft, and probably it would be finalized. Happens the same way on the draft created by ChatGPT, but the initial first draft is very fast. Then you can build upon that. A very interesting anecdote, rather not an anecdote, but a problem which cropped up in US a couple of months back. There was one lawyer who was in the New York court, and he was supposed to file some defense for an appeal. He didn't have the time, so he used ChatGPT, and ChatGPT gave him some documentation as well as case precedents to file before the judge, which he duly filed. After the hearing, it came out that those precedents were not there in actual life, but they were created by ChatGPT. They were hallucinations which were created by ChatGPT, and it created a lot of problems in the court where that lawyer had to apologize before the court. He could have been debarred. But since this was the first instance of using ChatGPT, the court gave him some leeway. But again, all these things are for your help, like guidebooks, but they are not the primary source of information for you. So you need to be very sure that whatever you are taking out of ChatGPT is corroborated by primary source of evidence. Now, what is artificial evidence? Artificial intelligence. Sorry. Normally, we see a lot of usage of technology and artificial intelligence on our daily life. ChatGPT is one. When you use text to speech, I have a phone where I prefer to write on the phone and it converts to text. I do not like to type on the keypad. I mean, I'm probably old, so I can't type fast on the keyboard. Then when you are using any sort of an email application, there are spam filters which uses intelligence to differentiate between the actual mail and the spam mails. Then when we talk about facial recognition, you use your iPhones, you use your Samsungs, where phones open up not through a password by using the face of a person. When you use artificial assistants like Siri and Alexa, that is also an artificial intelligence that we are using. When you go on a website, for example, Amazon or Snapdeal or any other e-commerce platform, and you see, for example, the Bata shoe, then you go to any other site, and the Bata shoe would be reflecting on all the sites, would be forcing you to buy that Bata shoe. That is also a sort of recommendation systems used by e-commerce platforms to make you buy things, and that is based upon artificial intelligence. Then coming closer to our area of working on turnarounds and insolvency, the fraud detections in financial institutions, they have gone quite advanced in terms of using AI to. We'll be talking about more on these things later in our chat. Then there are chatbots. There would be image and facial recognition, and interestingly, medical diagnosis. People would also want to put legal advice on this, but medical advice and legal advice being a professional's job, nobody should rely on these sort of advices. Moreover, how many of you seen Terminator or Eagle Eye, those Hollywood films? Anyone? The humans are fighting for their survival. But be assured, this is not what is going to happen, at least in our lifetime. Probably 50 years down the line or 100 years down the line might happen, but not today, not in this next 50 years at least. So when we talk about artificial intelligence in our profession, as an insolvency professional and as a turnaround professional, we are currently experiencing a huge digital disruption because of growing reliance on technology and artificial intelligence. We use our smartphones, cloud computing, data analytics, social media to gather a lot of information. For example, you need to understand what a company, XYZ Private Limited. So what do? You can go to MCA website or to any other paid website where they give you all the data of that. So these are the technologies that we keep on using day in and day out. But the intention behind these technology, or the context or the concept behind this technology, is related to artificial intelligence. And these technologies, me being an insolvency professional and I have to collect the claims. I have to interact with the creditors. I have to do a lot of things when I am running a CRP process. Can these be taken over by some sort of a program, software, or can my job be in danger because of this? Or these things can help me out. These are the things that we are going to discuss today. Effectively, artificial intelligence is the ability of a machine or a computer program to think and learn. Normally, what do you do when you are typing something into Excel? What we do is that we say on a column B, there's one number, on a column B, there's another number. And on the third column, we can put a small formula, right? And the output comes into the fourth column. What artificial intelligence does is that they give the first two columns, that is, they give the input data and the other data. The two input data are already given, and the answer is also given. The formula needs to be taken care of by the computer itself, and that is a learning process. So, for example, Tesla has made a car, a driverless car, where it runs on its own and doesn't hurt people. So, would artificial intelligence tell the car, here are the people, 2-3 people, so you do not hit them? It just teaches the car not to hit the people. People may come from any side, right? It may come from back, it may come from any other side. But yes, the Tesla teaches the car not to hit people, stop in a certain time, in a frame of time. So, I mean, I'm not a very expert on that, but this is what Tesla does. So, it is not helping it to give an input. It is not helping it to the output, but it is asking the Tesla car or the software in the Tesla car to understand if there is a person, you're not supposed to hit it. So this is what the artificial intelligence does. There are basically two goals of AI: to create expert systems, the systems which exhibit intelligent behavior. It learns from its experiences and demonstrates and explains to others how the things are need to be done. For example, that when we use ChatGPT, it collates everything from hundreds of websites and then put them into a readable format, which is precise and clear to us. It does not. If we go to hundreds of websites looking at one thing, we might come up with a lot of permutation combination, but it collates everything and gives us in a right format. Actually, I had one more video to show you, but I don't know how it would. Let's tell me if it is visible or not. Just let me know. This is a very interesting video that I came across. Can you see it?
No,
Can you
sir.
see- No. Okay.
Sir,
Okay.
ask
Let's.
artificial intelligence if they can help you out. How to show?
So this was one Tom and Jerry picture where Tom, when the owner of Tom brought in a mechanical cat, and it helped catch the mice. I mean the Jerry, right? So Tom was thrown out of the house. So effectively, nothing of that sort is going to happen, because in the same short film of Tom and Jerry, Tom comes back throwing that robot out of the house, and that was the whole idea, to show the picture that it doesn't happen that way. So let's go down. So there are certain acronyms that you need to be aware of. One is AI, that I have told you. Then is the machine learning. Machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence. Like I told you, that machine learns by itself by giving the input data and the result data. It calculates by itself what the formula might be, or how it is going to.
Rocky ji, that third item, natural language processing, should it be NLP? No.
Yeah, NLP. It's called NLP. Yeah. It's the full form of NLP is, oh, sorry, that's NLO. Okay, that should be NLP. So natural language processing is that, go back 10, 15 years, there were a lot of languages there in software creation like Java, like, or I mean, C++. So they were people were taught how to create software, but like you are using ChatGPT, you just write in a natural language and it gives you an output. So that is what we are coming to, that all those languages might get redundant in future. Then we talk about fintech is financial technology. The AML is when I speak about anti-money laundering, I might say AML, combating the financing of terrorism, CFT. And there are two things: regulatory technology and supervisory technology. We'll be coming to that. When we talk about machine learning, so if a computer is given a input data with the corresponding output data, so it can learn the algorithm itself. This is called supervised learning, supervised technology. If the computer is given a complex set of input data and no corresponding output data, right, the machine identifies the relationship in the data to provide valuable insights for decision makers, and this is called unsupervised learning. I mean, this is something which is very technical. I don't want to get deep into it. So let's go forward. Let's talk about more on how AI can help us in turnaround and insolvency. This is basically to show you that these are the things that we would be talking about. So what are the applications of AI in terms of understanding it in our general life? We talk about gaming. I was looking at a video earlier. I mean, when the smartphones came in 96, 97, we used to have those ping pong games on the phone, which were very, very basic games. Now, when we see games, I see my daughter's phone and she's playing very high resolution racing game on the phone. It is completely different from what we were using in 96, 97 when we were playing a ping pong ball. And then natural language processing, we have already, then there are experts in some applications where they integrate machines, software, and special information to impart reasoning and analysis. Vision systems, where the systems understand, interpret, and comprehend visual input on the computer. For example, a spying aeroplane taking a photograph and then figuring out what the photograph is all about. Normally visual systems can also consist of these days when we take a picture of a document, it can be converted into text. Then speech recognition. Again, comparing, there was a Dragon software around 15, 20 years back, and we used to use it to draft petitions on the computer, right, by speaking into it. But that was not very, correct. Sometimes it used to give us a lot of errors in that. But these days, the speech recognition systems have become so good that some of my friends, when they want to type Hindi, they just speak into the phone and it exactly replicates what they're speaking. Then we have intelligent robots. You must have seen on television and everywhere robots doing some sort of work. And some National Geographic pictures also tell us robots doing some sort of surgeries on patients, which is very highly advanced stage of artificial intelligence. Image recognition, anomaly detection. These are the basic applications of artificial intelligence, which we are going to use in turnarounds, turnarounds and insolvency when we are doing our CRP process or rescuing a company. All these applications are available to us, and we should be using them at least for assistance to us, rather than using them for a final product. It can be used for assistance to ourselves so that we save on time, energy, and costs. So before we get into how we can use that into a turnaround space and an insolvency space, let's talk about what business distress is all about. It's about economic cycles, booms and busts, downturns, unforeseen crises. COVID was one of them. These can severely impact the business's financial stability. Now, even I think AI could not also have predicted the oncoming of this sort of a COVID-19. This was something which was out of the blue. Then operational inefficiencies. These can be taken care of by artificial intelligence, like poor management practices, inefficient processes. We have something called lean management, which actually is a process to decrease the inefficient processes into and making them efficient processes by decreasing the amount of leakages or inefficiency in the whole system. There could be excessive costs, which can lead to deteriorating profitability, insurmountable debt. Everybody, I mean, all insolvency professionals understand this out. I mean, how the debt grows and how it becomes difficult to service, and then leading to business stress and ultimately to insolvency. Declining market relevance when there is an insurmountable operational inefficiencies and some sort of an external factor affecting the businesses, there would be a declining market relevance, and there are legal and regulatory issues. All of you must be filing a lot of compliances with IBBI. Think about it. Can we automate them? This is a thought, I mean, food for thought for you people. Can these regulatory compliances, legal compliances, can we automate them so that the stress on us to do that becomes less? I mean, I would also request the IP, ICSI and IBBI to actually look into this. So the advent of AI has ushered in a new era of technological innovation, disrupting traditional business models and revolutionizing decision-making processes. Now I'm reading this to you because there is a reason behind that, and that reason would be when we come to the end of this presentation. AI encompasses a wide array of technologies, including machine learning, natural language processing, data analytics, and automation. In the context of business turnarounds and insolvency, AI holds the promise of enhancing professionals' capabilities and redefining strategies for recovery. I'll tell you the secret later when we come down to the last part of our why this was written here. This is just telling you how it can help us use enhance our capabilities to process data, which is in huge quantities when we are doing some sort of a insolvency process or a turnaround process. Then AI is very efficiently used in predictive analytics and data insights. It's used big time into forecasting financial trends. A lot of companies which are investing into different startups, into distressed assets, use this forecasting financial trends. It is also used for risk assessments and collecting market intelligence. Now, this is very important, the market intelligence. ChatGPT 3.5 is not capable of collecting market intelligence because it is restricted till September 2021. But if you use ChatGPT 4 and look at, for example, and tell the ChatGPT 4 in a prompt stating to gather intelligence on a company XYZ Private Limited, so it would go across all the documentation in the internet on that specific company and get out with some sort of a collated information set for you to understand. And market intelligence would affect a risk assessment process, because on that basis of that market intelligence, people would like to have risk assessment, and which would effectively tell you about what the company is going to do or a sector is going to do in terms of trends. Decision support and strategy optimization. So when you are in a insolvency situation, how do you predict whether the company is going to be kept as a going concern or it needs to be liquidated? There has to be some sort of a scenario modeling in terms of cash flows, in terms of viability and the feasibility of the business, and this everything on these lines can be assisted by AI. Cost optimization. It identifies area of cost inefficiency and suggests cost-cutting measures. This is also very important in terms of a turnaround, because once the company is into business stress, the issue of cutting costs to increase your cash flows is very important. And without that, it cannot cut down on its cost and help to use the available cash in other areas where it is required. Customer insights. The analysis of the customer's behavior and feedback will depend upon the productivity of that specific product, whether it is being accepted by the customer or not is going to depend upon that particular feedback that we will be getting from the company, would be getting back from the customers, and it would help them to innovate some products which are not doing very well. Then supply chain optimization is very important, because even if you have a finished product or a raw material which you need for your factory in business, so the supply chain optimization, if you have more product, you have stopped your, blocked your cash in inventory, in a raw material inventory. If it is less, then you do not have the raw material to create that product. Similarly for the final product. So the supply chain optimization, very important, and using AI, it can actually optimize the whole process. We're talking about business. When we talk about consumers, the new refrigerators that are coming in are using this technology to inform a person, your milk is now getting short, so you need to buy milk for yourself. So these things are happening a big time in the current scenario, that people would come to know what shortages they are having in their specific fridge, in their, at home. AI is good in terms of if there is a repetitive task. So if you are going to collate claims, or you are going to do something which is repetitive in nature, AI can help you there in process automation. Like I said, compliance and reporting, big time AI is helping lot of organizations, say for income tax department or the MCA portal. They are streamlining their processes so that AI is taking over. Income tax, I know, because we keep on getting a lot of clients who are affected by income tax department, and most of the times it is the AI which is predicting whether they have done something wrong or not, and notices are being sent. So compliance and reporting is going to play a big time role in artificial intelligence life, and again requesting regulators and IPAs to create some sort of a intelligence system in your system, so that IPs can be helped in terms of their compliances. This is one area where we need to understand that where are we going? A company, this is a graph which is important in the time. I use it a lot in my presentations. We have a we have this chart where we on one side is a green, in a green color is healthy company, and on the right side is the insolvency part of it when it comes into insolvency. Now the path of a healthy company to an insolvent company takes time. It might be a 6 months process, it might be a 2 years process, it might be a 5 years process, depending upon the sector and the company, how it is behaving. From a healthy company to a level of strategic crisis. I'm not getting into what strategic crisis or earning crisis or what liquidity crisis is, because this is not a topic of discussion today. This graph is only they're going to tell you that from a healthy company to a decline to a strategic crisis or to earning crisis, this is the stages where we can turn around the companies, right? And once we get down to a liquidity crisis and to an insolvent company, here we can also turn around a company through an insolvency process, through a pre-pack, or through some other means. But the probability of making or turning around a company goes low. So initially, the company needs to be turned around if it can. Otherwise, it would get into an insolvency process, and probably it could be sold off to some other company, or it would be liquidated. So when we start using AI, we need to understand which stage we are in to use that AI. Now, this specific slide tells us about a journey from when the healthy company starts declining and comes to the stage of the EWS. What is EWS? EWS means early warning signals. Every company, I'll just explain it to you that if you're getting a sick, for example, you have throat infection or something, so your body would be giving out certain signals. Similarly, the company also, businesses also give out some sort of signals which shows that they are into stress. And it is for the professionals to understand those specific symptoms of stress and act accordingly. So once first we get the early warning signals, then there is a timeline for a default. Then there is a timeline for filing of the petition and the filing of, and then the court admits it at T1, and then we go to T330. So this is the whole timeline that we will be speaking about when we talk about how to use AI in different scenarios, in different time points in this specific timeline. The impact of AI on turnaround and insolvency professional. The first is a document review. Anybody knows what document review is? Early in my career as a lawyer, we were helping out a US company which wanted to have some sort of a discovery. By discovery, what we mean is that when in India they call it admission stage, admission and denial stage, sorry. So the other party would give you documents, you will give documents to the other party, and you will find out which documents are essential for your specific case, and then you will act on those documents. You can use them for cross-examination or taking out the credibility of a witness. When we talk about document review, it is not a very small process. There in a single between the antitrust and the trademark suit between Samsung and Apple, there were millions and millions of documents which consisted of emails, which consisted of written documents, which consisted of memos, and they needed to be, every document needed to be reviewed. How do you review so much of documents? So early in my career, when we were reviewing documents for discovery, we had to go through each and every document on a specific software and look for certain keywords. This was done manually, right? But in today's times, we have softwares which can actually scan those documents by itself and take out all those keywords and file them accordingly. Then the second tool which we can use of AI is the legal research. So ChatGPT is one of them. But again, in a footnote, I would say that be very careful on what ChatGPT tells you. You need to be very specific, and you need to be corroborating every piece of information that you get from ChatGPT. I've spoken about e-discovery, then due diligence. AI can automate the due diligence process. It can review financial statements and conduct background checks. Very good in a turnaround situation where background effects can be used. Background checks can be used to determine the business stress. Predictive analytics. If you know the legal outcome of a legal case, how would that help you? Lot of legal cases which are being funded by third-party funders use predictive analytics. That the money they are putting into a legal case, whether they can win that case or not, the probability needs to be high. You cannot 100% say that you can win a case, but yes, the probability of winning that case should be very high. And when you're talking about different jurisdictions, I would probably not be knowing about something in Australia or the Australian law, but using predictive analytics, which use people from Australia who have given their inputs into the analytics, we can find whether the probability of winning the case is high or not, and on that basis, litigation funding can be done. Asset valuation. Like I said, artificial intelligence gathers inputs from a lot of different factors, areas, news reports, government documents. So the valuation can be based upon all that information which can come in, and it can collate it to a point where the actual valuation can be brought into picture with different sort of other valuation, like the market value, the distressed value can be brought out through this asset valuation. We are not that far into the system where our sub-registrar's office data is open to everyone. But once what the government is working upon on a property repository, if that comes in, the AI would use that valuation and the sale and purchase prices of the assets in a specific area and come out with a clean and clear-cut valuation of an asset. It may be a immovable property or a movable property. I've spoken about the creditor's claim. AI can automate the process of verifying the creditor's claims by utilizing machine learning and review claims and identify potential errors or inconsistencies, which reduce the risk of errors and saves time. Then we are talking about asset tracing and recovery. How many of you know about the asset tracing part of it? Mostly asset tracing is done when there is an interjurisdiction dispute. In India as well, we sometimes do asset tracing when we don't know how much asset a person owns. It could be in terms of asset purchase in name of related parties. So tracing those assets and putting your stamp on it that yes, this belongs to the CRP process and should be brought into the CRP process, so that the creditors can be paid off, because this asset which has been bought in other person's name is seed of crime and needs to be brought into the whole kitty of the assets of a company and divided in between the stakeholders of the creditors. So this can easily be done using AI. In India, it might take some time, but across the world, in developed jurisdictions where most of the repositories are online, asset tracing is not that difficult. We have had a session on asset tracing in the recently concluded Insol International Conference at Tokyo, which was real eye-opener for me as well. So Section 53 payment distribution. AI can automate this process of distribution of payments using machine learning and analyze creditors' claims and determine the appropriate distribution. Credit scoring. Presently, a lot of agencies are doing credit scoring and helping different stakeholders like creditors to understand what the score is and how much credit needs to be issued to that person. I was talking to head of MasterCard. They have this specific algorithm where they can predict when, how much, or when the debtor is going to default. So their credit giving responsibility decreases to the extent that they know how much credit needs to be given to a specific person. And I'm talking about individuals, not companies. Companies still have a lot of data in the public domain, but not the individuals who do not have those sort of data in public domain. Then we're talking about efficiency and automation. Efficiency and automation in using AI would help all these credit scoring companies to understand the issues that might come up later in the day for the companies to get back their credit. So this efficiency would effectively help them decrease their bad debts. Risk management. Trading algorithm is for different analysis of market trends. Risk management. Big time use of AI is being done by a lot of bankers, equity funds, investment bankers to understand and mitigate those risks which can come up when they're giving those credits to the companies or the businesses. Quality control. Again, big time research is happening on this, and it is being used big time in quality control. When product passes through a scanner, it takes care of its weight, it takes care of its size, it takes care of a lot of things, and automatically the quality control checks are being maintained. So this helps in companies' valuations in terms of less losses, so more valuation. Regulatory compliance we have already spoken about. Ethical considerations. I have kept this point here because when we talk about AI, we talk about ethics as well. Do we want a Terminator-like situation in next 100 years? Do we want a situation where machines are controlling us? So to what extent do we give them access to the machines to get into our lives? Last Wednesday, abhi 2-3 दिन पहले, there was a big meeting in United States where Elon Musk, Sam Altman is the person who has created ChatGPT. Mark Zuckerberg and a couple of other, Bill Gates, they were there to discuss about the ethical considerations to how much control or regulation can be put into the AI ecosystem. Because unless it is controlled, it is free for everyone. Then training and education on AI is required for people to get assisted by all these programs, softwares which are using NLPs, natural language processing, so that they can get the best out of what is available in the market. So this is what, when we talk about the impact of AI on turnaround professionals and insolvency professionals, these are all going to be a major, these points are going to play a major role in the impact on the lives of all the professionals if they start using this. Using of all these softwares, AI capabilities can actually help us in reducing our stress and helping us to do our job efficiently and in a less amount of time. How many of you know about Edward Altman? Anyone? Okay, anyone knows about Z-score? There is a guy called Edward Altman. So he created a algorithm in 1968.
Yeah, in fact, Edward Altman had also come to Bombay,
Yes,
address a conference. Yeah.
yes. He created a Z-score. That Z-score was nothing which was out of the blue or something very difficult or not to understand. You go on the on Google, search for Z-score, it would give you a simple equation. It's very simple equation, which would see most of you would be chartered accountants or company secretaries or lawyers. So it would be about current assets, current liabilities, and using those small financial information to predict 2 years before when a company is going to get insolvent. This tool is being used by us to understand whether a company is going to get insolvent in next 600 to 700 days or not, and this is very sector specific. This was Edward Altman created it in 1968, probably the year I was born, and it has went a lot of changes because the conditions then and now have changed a lot. One of my associates in Hyderabad, Mr. Desai, is working very hard on this, and he has created a much more robust Altman score condition to Indian businesses. So this is very important that when a healthy company is there, when we are on the top of that curve, we should take care that we do not get into a distress situation. By the way, I just want to share a story with you. 2020, when we had this COVID-19 and we were all stuck in the lockdown and we were sitting at home, so we started something called Early Morning India. So this Early Morning India was just helping out some businesses, small businesses, to come out of stress, giving. And this was completely pro bono exercise for us. So in September 2020, we had gone to one industrial association to tell them about business distress, and I mean, I was very a novice in the field that in terms of turnaround. When talking to a community of, so I just asked them in that seminar, who of you people are experiencing business stress? Nobody said yes. Nobody. When we came back from that small conference that we had arranged, I just thought about it, that why nobody said, when individually they were coming and telling me that yes, we are in stress, but when we spoke in public, they didn't say that. And then it struck me that nobody wants to show their status, business status in front of everybody. And it struck me like that, because we were doing it for the first time, this sort of a conference, small conference. So on the basis of this, my team created one small system where we put 20 questions to those people in a small Microsoft form. Is a page with about 20 questions. They needed to answer it yes or no. Mind you, I do not know the company. I have not spoken to the owners or the promoters. The simple 20 questions, which actually were part of RBI circular, on which early warning signals are based. right? So we use those early warning signals from the RBI circular and ask those companies whether you are experiencing these issues or not. And on the basis of that, it would generate a score, which would, if it would have been a healthy company on the similar slide that I showed you earlier, that would be 100. On the insolvency score, it would be 0. And in between, we could find where the company stood. And it was a completely objective test without using any financial ratios. And it helped us out a lot. And this was taken up by some people, some turnaround professionals in England and Germany. And they started using this, what we created, as some sort of a small software wherein we could predict where the business was going. And it was a completely objective test in terms of that we do not even know the company. And then in another seminar when we went, we gave the link to that Microsoft page to everyone sitting in that conference and told them to answer it as per on your phones or on your laptops or on your tablets. And when they answered it, the score was only known to them. And we simply showed them on the screen that if you are scoring 40 or 70 or 80, your position is somewhere here on that curve. And everybody knew where they stood. Nobody was, the other person who was sitting next to me probably wouldn't even know what I was typing in. So this was one thing that we created, and this was something which was, I just wanted to share with you that this is something also which is being liked across the world. So early detection of financial distress through some sort of software or some sort of a system where people can understand where they are going is very important. We have not been using it in India that much, but we should be using it to predict this insolvency situation and taking mitigating steps to ward off that insolvency situation. Again, once we know that, cash flow management then becomes very important. Once we know we are in stress, how do we use the cash flows for them to become positive rather than negative? So AI can help us in understanding that what our process is, where the leakages are, how do you decrease cost, how do you stop those leakages, probably increase the production or decrease your bad products. That would help in increasing the products and help the professionals to maintain and manage liquidity during those stressful times that a company is going through. Then use of AI in business turnaround can also be used as under the supplier and customer risk assessment. Ocean steel, when it went down, lot of vendors went down in terms of many vendors becoming insolvent. We had some clients who had put all their eggs in with Ocean Steel and they went down with it because of COVID also, because the cash flows were very bad at that point in time. So when you have a major client and the major client takes a risk assessment of their suppliers, that what is their financial health, and Apple does it to understand whether their suppliers are into stress or not, and Apple helps their suppliers to beat the negative cash flows. So this sort of an assessment through an AI is important to take care of your business in case there are some issues. Then we come on to the strategic planning and execution, scenario analysis. I've spoken about earlier, like I just that when we are into a stressful situation, where will it lead us? This AI can tell us, right? There are algorithms to do that. And if we can change one parameter in that scenario analysis, it can tell us where the tangent will take. if you would have seen that picture called Back to the Future, where the professor says that you change one instantly. Similarly, if we can put some positive impact into a scenario which is taking us into a deep business trouble, probably that inclusion of that incident can take us out of it. So scenario analysis becomes important in terms of understanding what the trend would be. Did you understand what I just said? Because it is quite complicated what I just said. So if you have not understood it, I can repeat it again. Okay, let's go ahead. Resource allocation. Most of the times, companies would come to us in stress and tell us that they need capital, right, to ward off the stress. But we don't look at that way. Our major aim is to understand that why that stress is being there, what is the cause of that stress, understand that cause, and allocate resources to mitigate those issues that a business is facing. Not just to put in more money into the business and then the leakages are not stopped and the leakages take out all that cash that has been infused in the system. So resource allocation through using that AI optimization can help the businesses to use whatever resources or limited resources that they have to the best of their abilities so that they can have the best result. I can go a big time long. It would be very long for me to take you through this, but I just wanted to share with you that we have when I take some sort of a seminar or a webinar on turnaround, one of the theories that we have created is a hole in the bucket theory, which actually takes care of this resource allocation. So think or imagine a bucket with 5 or 6 holes, and you keep putting water into it. What would happen? Water would flow out of those holes, right? So think of it, the holes as your leakages and water as your cash. When will the bucket hold water? It will only hold water when you close those holes or plug those leakages. So the intent should be to close those leakages and then put water. The water would hold in the bucket. Otherwise, it is again going to flow out. The water is your cash. So if it flows out, then again you are back to square one where you started off from. So your first need is, or first step should be to close those holes. How do you close those holes is a different thing. But yes, monitoring those performances through KPIs using AI will help you to close those holes more efficiently and monitor the performance of all those in that process. An example would be that in one of our cases, I'll not name the case, in one of our cases where there were a lot of leakages from the accounting department. The promoter was not keenly watching where the funds were flowing out. So we put like some sort of, at that time, I'm talking about 10 years back probably, the forensic audit was not that much cheap. So we didn't do a forensic audit, but we asked one forensic person to come and put that into that system, and we understand where the funds are going out. And he told us that this does not complete, these funds are not completing the cycle, they're going to some other bank account. So that helped us to find out where the cash was going. So this helped us understand that whosoever was responsible should be taken to task. So just an example of performance monitoring that yes, it could be used to take care of your leakages. Then customer engagement.
I'm sorry, Mr. Gupta.
Yeah.
Yeah, just one question regarding this resource allocation. The
Yeah.
example you gave,
Yeah.
if I have understood you correctly, that the forensic auditor already had some system, some
Yeah,
software for.
yeah. So he had some software, and I'm talking about 2013 and 14, not today, right? At that time, it was not in that much. I mean, you can say sophisticated, right?
Okay. But how many years data you fed in?
We fed in data from 2008,
So 5 years data basically.
5 years data, because the quantum was 15 crores.
15 crores. I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank
Right. So let's get on to the next slide. Customer-centric approach. See, this talks about the personalized marketing. AI leverages customer data to deliver personalized marketing campaigns. Like I told you that if you buy something from say Tata Click, or you want to buy something from Tata Click, or you search for it on Google, everything would be coming onto whatever website you go to. They would be showing you ads on that specific items. So and forcing you to buy that item by showing it to you every day in and day out. So this is something which AI is. I mean, for the companies it might be good but for us, the consumers, it might be irritating, right? Uh, Customer service enhancements using AI. A lot of companies are using this in terms of customer satisfaction, uh, uh, escalating the matters to their higher levels. This helps retain customers and helps the companies to have better cash flows in terms of more sales. Okay. Now we come to the complex dynamics of insolvency. Everybody would agree, I think, on this panel today, whosoever is there or today in this webinar, that insolvency is very complex, right? There is no one solution for every problem. There would be multiple solutions for same problem, right? So first we start off the legal framework. Big time IBC, multiple sections, lot of court cases, need for interpretation by different courts. And if you talk about India, when we talk about the world, how many jurisdictions can you think of, and how many insolvency laws can you think of? And in case of a cross-border insolvency, how do you streamline those insolvency processes, which is spread over different jurisdictions? So it's a very complex dynamic. Stakeholder interest. We're just talking about the dynamics, then we'll come how to use AI in those dynamics. Insolvency involves balancing the interest of creditors, stakeholders, employees, asset optimization, maximizing the value of distressed asset. I mean, this is something which everybody is understand. Negotiation and resolution. How does that happen? Timing and decision making, very, very important. So how do you achieve this whole thing? We know these are the dynamics of insolvency, and we also know that the 330-day timelines is not being achieved by the ecosystem within the insolvency regime. It could be the courts, it could be the various stakeholders, it could be the creditors, it could be anything, right? We are not achieving that, and it is affecting the legal framework. It is affecting the stakeholder interest. It is affecting asset optimization. With no negotiation and resolutions coming in, because if the timelines are increasing to an extent where timelines are doubling or tripling, where do you get the asset optimization? And obviously, at that point in time, liquidation would be the only option available to us. So the timing and decision making is very important in the whole insolvency scenario. And using AI to streamline all this looks good, sounds good, but ultimately we as humans also need to understand that all the stakeholders.
Mr. Gupta,
Yeah.
See that I'm not able to see in your slide the last line, timing and decision making.
Critical decisions must be made swiftly and with precision to avoid irreversible damage.
Okay, thank you.
Right. I mean, I don't need to say this also, but everybody of you understands this, that timelines are important in any sort of a situation which is related to business stress or insolvency situation. All right. So how do we use AI in this? We are in the process of creating information utilities, we're in the process of creating repositories. So once these things come completely online, wherein person uses or buys a property and it is the next day it reflects in the repository, yes, the ownership has changed from person A to person B. That point in time, asset identification and tracing would be very fast. There are people who siphon out money and buy assets across the world, across India. So tracing those assets and using forensics to go behind those cash which has gone out of the system through someone else's account on someone else's behalf, that tracing would become much more easier. And it would, using the AI processes into this, would make it much more faster, which should reduce the timelines and bring whatever assets have gone out of the system because of some sort of siphoning out. It would help the creditors to get more out of those assets, what are available to them. Negotiating with stakeholders. When we talk about negotiating, what do we mean? It could be mediation, or it could be arbitration, it could be one-to-one negotiation, right? Once we have that information on assets, for example, using that because we just spoke about that, a leverage in any sort of a negotiation or mediation is helpful. The more information that we have on the other party who is into a negotiation or a mediation, it sometimes become a leverage for you to demand something from them which they will not be able to refuse. This would play a big role in negotiating with stakeholders. And information is everything. So the data-driven insights are very important in any sort of a negotiation, mediation, or an arbitration. And how do you get that information? Use AI. If you go to ChatGPT or any other AI tool, you can get information in a very fast way. By the way, they have come out with a small AI tool wherein you put the information of the company, they would require some information about the company, its size, what is the stage of the business stress, what is the number of liability there, what is the asset base. They're going to ask for this question, and they would be able to give out immediately after they have processed that information the name of a funder who can fund your project.
Wow.
Right. So they have come out with these sort of things where they understand your whole scenario and they can come out with a result within, say, 5-6 seconds. But you need time to fill up those data that needs to be processed. Right. Ultimately, when we go about due diligence and asset valuation, liquidation versus restructuring, the end result comes out very fast. Again, one case that I want to just share with you. One case came from South India. I'll not even tell you the name of the city. And there was a debt of 140 crores. they wanted me to turn around them. And I told them, let it go into liquidation based upon due diligence and asset value. And that person was like, sir, आप हमें मारना चाहते हो? I said, it's an easy death for you rather than a difficult death. A year later, it would be a difficult death. Today, it would be an easy death. But it would be death of your company, not you. You can come back again. And I told him the specific reasons for my giving him that advice and opinion, and he accepted those advice. So this is how due diligence and asset valuation using some AI tools can help people understand what the end result should be. For example, if that person doesn't take my advice and goes on another 1 year or 2 years, whatever he can manage on the cash flows, ultimately he will get into an insolvency situation. He will go to NCLT, then it would be a stressful time for the whole promoters, their families, their vendors, their employees, and it would be a slow and difficult situation for distress situation for him. So it is better to act fast and mitigate your issues rather than slowly dying a terrible death, the company's death. Again, we are talking about the legal and compliance support. If I think there is some software which is helping us out. I don't know the name of that software, but they are helping us out in providing some reports and all to IVBI and IPS. So it helps us out to create those reports based upon certain parameters. So these sort of softwares help us in using couple of people to do 10 people's time work. So, and reducing time along with that. Case management. In India, case management, legal case management is not that, I mean, I would say that it's not very technologically advanced. But if you go to US or UK or Canada or Australia, the case management systems are very fast. And see, I did my case management for US people, for US attorneys, and we were told that I'm talking about 20 years back, that if you have to file, and I was helping in filing bankruptcy petitions in US under Chapter 11, and we were told that if you are going to file a petition based upon certain case laws, you need to go to LexisNexis. Their system operates on real-time basis. So today, a decision is in your favor, but tomorrow, and the decision changes fast there. Tomorrow, probably you will have a reversal of that earlier decision. So you need to check 24 hours within 24 hours of filing. I'm sorry, before filing, you need to check whether those decisions are still in your favor or not. This is what case management is all about, right? To understand whether, abhi kya hai ki, at this point in time, today, if Supreme Court says something, today we get all these news in different applications like Bar and Bench, Live Law, and other all those applications that we use in Manu Patra, but they are not in real time. Say 10 minutes after decision is given, it reflects on LexisNexis. 10 minutes. That's the maximum time I'm talking about. So this is the way the case management is being done there. So we need to bring those AI tools and streamline all those things within the insolvency process as well. Again, all stakeholders need to take care of that. I'm not even talking about the IP responsibility, the insolvency professional's responsibility. I'm talking about the COC's responsibility. I'm talking about the court's responsibility. I'm also talking about the other stakeholders' responsibility. Everybody needs to pitch in to have those timelines in order, because ultimately the haircut is being taken by the creditors who have invested the money. market assessment. So, anybody using ChatGPT 4? Use ChatGPT 4, use this market assessment just in a natural language, write what you want from that. So, for one of our clients, I was doing some research, and it was regarding those tobacco cones which come in, right? Without the tobacco is put into it to use as a cigarette. It is what you call the rolling of the cigarette paper that is used. And we did a market analysis for this. And you know what came out of that analysis? Even the people who were doing market assessment for us couldn't take out that there is a huge market for that. I mean, it was 5 times more than what they had predicted. And then we used those predictions and rechecked everything what the market assessment had come out through AI and through the manual job that was done by a specific company which specializes in this job. And there was a huge discrepancy in the whole system. So we checked that. It was around 2 to 3 times, but there was a issue with that. And market assessment manually and through AI is a huge difference. Use ChatGPT 4, it helps. Identifying prospective buyers and investors. Like I told you, use that tool of finding an investor and get that investor for yourself. So it is helping identify potential buyers or investors based on their historical activities and preferences. And the parameters used have been taken from those investors themselves. So it is something which is manually taken and then fed into the system to predict what sort of investor you would require. Again, the negotiation assistance, using favorable terms with stakeholders, you have some leverage, optimizing asset sales, you have that information through someone, or debt restructuring. All these things can be done through AI. I'm not saying that AI is completely foolproof. You have to have the checks and balances. You have to make sure that whatever is coming out of the machine is right. You have to check that. Like a teacher, you have to check everything. Like that lawyer who used the precedents in the court of law without checking them had to eat dirt at the end of the day. So ultimately, what I'm trying to say is that you cannot replace humans with machines at this point in time. Tomorrow, what will happen after 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years? I can't say. But yes, today, it is not possible to replace humans with machines. On this 330-day timeline, we can use artificial intelligence across this time. Everywhere we can use, from collating of claims to appointment of valuers. If we can have a data set for valuers, and how much number of jobs that they have done, so we could come down to their efficiency, right? Creating an IM for a COC, for example, can be done through data analytics. At least all the assets can be identified and put into the IM, which would have been probably not identified if it has been siphoned down and bought in some other person's name. So all these things can be done. Just go to ChatGPT and ask him to create a expression of interest. It will do it for you, right? By the way, Croatia, when we talk about public announcement, section 13, Croatia has come up with a novel way of announcement. They have done away with the newspaper filings. They are all doing it online. Right. So this is something we should also be doing, that get all those manual interventions down to bare minimum. Get everything digitalized, like we are becoming a digitalized economy. Most of our transactions are being done through UPIs or banking channels. So why not change this process into a digital process so that everything is on the touch of a button, right? Even the courts now are functioning on a completely digital basis. We are filing digitally all petitions and applications to the courts. And like I said, resolution plans can also be made through AIs. But then again, human intervention is always required. Finding an investor is also coming through a AI process. Can be done now. So the courts also need to understand that if everything is being done through an AI process, so they should also be fast enough to complement and supplement that fastness or and take care of the timeline. So the whole insolvency process, I think AI applications can be used fairly well. Any questions on this? Achievements and outcomes enabled by AI. When you have all the information in front of you, today, for example, you need to buy a TV, right? And you go to Google and you search for Samsung, you search for Sony, you search for LG, you search for X, and then you compare. And for example, then you put in the AI we'll use the ChatGPT for that matter, and say, I need X inches TV with certain features, give us the best TV. Probably it will give you a direct answer. This is the TV which has all the criteria that you have defined, and it can be used by you. And you can even put in servicing costs. You can even put in the how much warranty that you need. So it can come up using collating all the information to give you the best TV that you would require. So once you have that information with you, improved decision making is there always. All decisions are based upon some information. And if you have all the information, you can take probably a best decision. Cost reductions, again, cost inefficiencies, streamline of operations, reduce expenses can be done in a turnaround situation as well as in an insolvency situation. Enhance customer engagement, profitability restoration. Once you have done all those proper decision making, you have reduced the cost, you have plugged those leakages, you have enhanced the customer engagement where customers are relying upon you and are loyal to you. They would give you business. There would be profitability restoration. Optimal asset management. I would say in insolvency proceedings, AI can maximize the asset value subject to, I would put a condition here, subject to timelines being maintained. Regulatory compliances, again, we have spoken about it, that if we can do regulatory compliance through AI, it could help us in maintaining those regulatory compliances and adhere to those legal and regulatory compliances which may or may not have happened in the past. Transforming turnaround and insolvency profession. Usually, when we talk about transforming the turnaround profession and the insolvency profession, there are two ways to go about it. As per Richard Susskind and Daniel Susskind, they have written a book called Future of Professions, and they say that only two ways we can go about it. That is, one is automation and one is innovation. How does automation helps us? Focus on automation is on streamlining manual or administrative activities with the object of deriving benefits in form of efficiency and cost saving. Then we can think about some sort of a regulatory technology for this, supervised technology for this. At this point in time, when most of you must have done 2 or 3 CRP processes, it's almost the same. Their routine professional insolvency work is there. I mean, it is, if you, other than the facts, you have to send in a public announcement, then the claims are going to come in. You're going to check each claim with the data list, see what is the issue. So these are the same things being done in different companies at different point in time, but the process is almost the same. So those standardized practices, especially which relate to identification of assets, which relate to scheduling of creditors, which relate to the claims, meetings, the COC meetings, and the tasks that are normally repetitive in nature. Can they be used? Can they be governed or managed through AI processes? This is a question that needs to be answered by the regulatory authorities, because we should not be violating any laws. But this is a need of the hour if we want to have timelines which can have a beneficial effect on the insolvency of a company. One of the things that we have seen is that COC being conducted virtually through Zoom platforms or Meet platforms, Google Meet platforms. So this was in effect getting people together from probably from different time zones or different cities in India onto a single platform and conducting COC meetings. It helped save time, energies, and costs. So these sort of automation processes should be brought in to decrease the timeline that are not being taken care of by the law as such, right? Now, in order to have these sort of automation, we need innovations in the law itself or in the processes itself. Do we have someone in the government sector or the private sector understanding how the insolvency profession will evolve in this age of AI and robotics and machine learning? Can we have some sort of or identify some sort of common patterns which might affect the profession generally? Can we import something from outside, like different jurisdictions doing different things within the insolvency ecosystem? One thing I would say that please go to the UK website, where you just type in Google UK insolvency laws. They would take you to a UK government website. When you go to that UK government website or a US government website, which is handling any sort of a law, it would give you in a complete layman terms how the process is going to work. So if you have to write from a pen, it would say, pick up the pen, remove the cap, take the pen in your hand and write. This is the level of expertise that they have to tell people how to go about the whole thing. There are large amount of data in many insolvencies. Big insolvencies would cater to large amount of data, and that amount of data manually cannot be handled. It has to be handled through some sort of a software, machines, computers, and using AI to get sense out of those big time data or huge amount of data. AI is important to be used to decrease the timelines to have favorable results as far as the insolvency is concerned. Moreover, building in terms of predictive analysis on how my action would be seen in the future. That scenario analysis is important, and these analyses should be brought in to the insolvency sphere, at least in India, to understand the timeline. Let's go to the next slide. I told you something. I had read out something from a slide. I'll again read out this thing to you. Now I was sitting on ChatGPT and I told them to write a conclusion for my today's talk on this future of insolvency profession. I'll just read out to you. In the symphony of business, or I'll use one AI tool. Probably you can hear it. Can you hear this?
No, sir.
No. Okay. I think media is not working here. So in the symphony of business turnarounds and insolvency, professionals no longer navigate the turbulent seas of financial distress alone. Artificial intelligence has emerged as a trusted companion, empowering them with the predictive insights, data-driven strategies, and automation capabilities. By harnessing the power of AI, professionals can aspire to not only salvage struggling enterprises, but also orchestrate remarkable resurgences. In this ever-evolving landscape, AI represents a beacon of hope, a technologically poetic partner that guides professionals toward the shores of financial stability and renowned prosperity. As businesses continue to adapt to the digital age, the role of AI in their survival and success will only become more profound, ensuring that professionals remain at the forefront of transformative change. Now, this has been drafted by ChatGPT. I went a step ahead. I said, okay, put this into a form of a poem. So this was the result that I got. Probably you can read it at your when you have the free time. You can just take a screenshot of this, right? So this created a nice, beautiful poem about this. So the last para, I'll just read it. So as we sail through financial storm and strife, AI and professionals together in life, towards shore of stability and renewed might, they steer the ship into the future's light. So by this, I am ending this presentation, and we go on to the question and answer session.
Rocky, your presentation was very nice.
Thank you.
Can you give us some real life example where you have used this AI in CIRP process?
I have not done a CRP process after 2020. Okay.
Okay.
But like I told you, we created a tool for understanding which stage of a distress is business in by using those 20 questions. We have that tool with us and we're still using it. Last week, a person came from Bangladesh, from Hong Kong, who had a company in Bangladesh and a company in UK, and he took that test in my office. And the result was directly in front of him when he took that test.
Yes. Sir, and can you give us that address of websites of US and UK insolvency in chat box?
Uh, it's very simple. See, sir, आज की डेट में you need not ask me anything. You have Chat GPT, go there, find it, you will get it. If you don't have it, you can text me. I'm just after this slide, my phone number is going to come. You can just text me. I'll send it to you because there is so many websites there where you can get help from. I can send you the details. That's not an issue, but not on the chat box. I can send it to you personally or on a group. I mean, a WhatsApp group, something, because I need to copy and paste that.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you.
Any more questions?
So what are features those are not available in earlier version of ChatGPT, and you said now these are available on ChatGPT 4.
See, there are two ChatGPT's versions which are running: ChatGPT 3.5 and ChatGPT 4. Okay, ChatGPT 3.5, its data is restricted till September 2021. It does not search websites. It does not tell you about companies and individuals, right? It gives you broad data. Now, for example, you want to, I'll just tell you how the basic usage of ChatGPT 3.5 is. You want to draft an email, just simply type into the ChatGPT, but you have to be very specific. देखिए, whatever you tell the machine is going to give you an output on what it has understood. So if you are not very clear, crisp, and precise on your input, the output that you will be getting would not be similar to what you had expected. So if you want to write a application to a court regarding condonation of delay, just tell it, I need a condonation of delay for not filing an application on time under section so and so of such and such act, right? I wanted to show you that, but probably just
Sir,
let me
I'm
see.
asking what is the difference then? See,
Yeah,
if I'm putting all inputs there,
yeah.
but what is the difference between earlier version
So
and this
3.5 is till September 2021. ChatGPT 3.5 is free. They don't ask you for any money on it. You just have to log in and get it. In ChatGPT 4, there is a cost of around 1,500 or to 1,700 rupees per month, but that is a much more better option because it searches for a lot of things other than what ChatGPT 3.5 can do. It even goes to the websites and can take out information about companies and individuals.
Okay.
As far as our profession is concerned, I mean, if you want to know about a company, so it can go and whatever publicly available data is there, it would get it for you. Even in terms of newspaper reports, in terms of public filings, it can take out that data.
Okay. Sir.
Use करिए उसको. I mean, you should go and use it. Don't depend upon it, but go and use it. It would give you good amount of things that that probably you would not even have thought of. I'll tell you one anecdote. My daughter is working for a multinational, and she is into making agreements, employer agreements. So one day I told her, let me draft an agreement and you also draft an agreement. She's a lawyer, by the way. So she drafted an agreement in 15 minutes. I just sent in a request to ChatGPT, which gave me an employment agreement within 1 minute. Right? And there was not much difference between the two. Not much.
Okay, thank you.
Anjali, should we stop here? If there are no
Yes, sir. We can conclude.
okay, thank you everyone.
Thank you so much, sir. The session was very informative and insightful. You are requested to kindly share your presentation, sir.
We'll send it to you. And then you can,
So your contact details, you said that will come in the
Oh.
last slide, that has not been displayed.
okay, I'll just reshare it. Just a minute.
If you can also send along with the presentation the videos as well.
Hope,
Which
I
was
don't
not
know
able-
whether the videos can go or not. I don't know that.
That's all. Okay.
I don't know whether video. I can send the videos to you. That's not an issue. Separately, I'll send it to Anjali. She can forward it to everyone. Thank you, everyone.